Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Anchors Away. As you can see, we are joined once again by Marco Cordova down in the bottom of the screen. And, of course, joined by my father, Kevin, and myself, Nate Karsner. So we have some fun stuff to talk about today. Obviously, the Mariners are, they're in that long stretch of games now where we just continue to play and hopefully pick up series wins, which, not great against Toronto, but we did get the win in New York. And then we'll be talking about some fun Seahawk things going on. Rookie mini camps are underway, and we have seen Drew Lock out there at a training camp doing his thing, getting used to the offense and everything like that. But with that said, before we really get into today's show, how is everybody doing? Marco, it's been a little bit of time since you were here last. So how are things for you back in Washington?
No, everything's great. Everything's great. I mean, seems like all Seattle sports are just going through the roof right now. I mean, I love that Mariners win against the Mets. That last game was just nail biter. It was super awesome to see. Mm-hmm. Sounders seem to keep picking it up right now. So, I mean, it's good. Life's good over here.
Good. Glad to hear it. And yeah, like you said, the Sounders got a great win the other day. I think against, what was that, Minnesota?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Yes. Yep. And then they won against Houston.
They won last night.
Okay, it was Houston last night. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as always, we always do the question. Today I have two questions for the both of you. These are going to be very easy questions, but this stat came up the other day, so it'll be a fun one. But let's start with the first one here, since we will be talking about the Mariners to start off this episode. Who is the only father-son duo to hit a home run in the same game?
Shoot.
Oh, that's a tough one. Let's see. Did Lou Pinilla's kid play with him? No. Langston? No, his dad didn't play for us. I don't know. There must have been some. What do you think, Marco? Do you know?
Shoot. Did Babe Ruth have a kid?
Yeah,
but you gotta go that far
maybe.
Back? No.
Edgar? Did Edgar's kid?
Shoot. Going on a limb here, I'm gonna say Mr. Griffey Jr.
That is
senior.
That is
Senior.
correct. Okay,
Wow.
now here's the real question, though. Can you name the team that they did it against?
Oakland.
No.
Oh, was it California?
There you go.
California.
September 14th,
California Angels.
1990. Back-to-back home runs against California Angels. So with that said,
and you would have dinged us on it if we said L.A.
Oh, yeah, it was California.
Yeah, you would have. Yeah. No, but if we said L.A. Angels, I would have said, nope, that's not the right team.
Yeah, it's not. But so tying that in, 1990, that would have been Griffey's second year. And there's another kid who's getting kind of the looks of Griffey here, and Mr. Julio Rodriguez. Today, batting third in the lineup, moving up, consistently moving up from 7th, 6th, 5th, and jumping up to 3.
Kind of in the Griffey spot.
Yeah, so let's kind of talk about that. Obviously, his average is skyrocketing since that first month of April. He's leading the league in stolen bases currently. Picked up a hit again today against Rich Hill, who's just throwing breaking pitch after breaking pitch in that first at bat. What are your thoughts? Do you like Julio at 3? Do you think he should stay more at 5? What do we think there?
Go ahead, Kevin. It's all you.
Sure. I like him at 3. He's stepped up to everything that they've thrown at him. I think he's got the speed because if you can get Frazier on, with Ty France hitting Frazier over, you got Julio coming up, get him on. I mean, you're setting it up. I mean, you're almost lengthening a little bit of that lineup by putting him in at 3 because now you can move some of that heavier stuff later, but you're getting speed up at the front. Keep JP around there. Yeah, I think it could be really an interesting lineup. And of course, they got to play with this right now because hopefully starting the Oakland series, Kyle Lewis might be our DH and put him in at the 5 to start out possibly with or something like that. So I think they're just kind of seeing what's going to help kind of stumble it down because Winker really needs to be 6-7, I think, down there right now. So we'll see. But yeah, I kind of like it. Yourself? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I like that 3 spot. But I mean, if you've seen the past couple lineups, he's all over the place. I mean, they've had him batting 6. I believe he was up in the top a couple times. I mean, he's all over the place. So I think the flexibility that he's showing is just crazy but I kind of like him at that 3rd hole. I mean, he's got some pop. He's going to start putting balls up in the air.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised once it starts getting warmer out there. You'll start seeing a bunch of those balls flying a little bit more. I like that Frazier and France can both eat up a lot of pitches.
Right.
Same with JP. I mean, they just. I don't think I've seen that a whole lot with Julio just yet. I haven't seen a very lengthy at bat. Maybe I'm missing a couple, but I'm still seeing. I mean, I like when he hits the ball. I like where he's at right now.
Absolutely.
You know,
and to be able to start picking up on those off-speed pitches and stuff like that. They knew they weren't going to throw him a fastball to start out with.
No,
but because they threw him so many of these off-speed pitches in April, that just gave him time to figure it out. And so, hey, what better way to learn than against major league pitching? Go ahead, throw me your off-speed junk. I'll figure it out. And by May, okay, I figured it out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, piggyback on that. I mean, I just kind of was looking at some stats about him. He's batting .321 in the last 15 games. So I mean, he's putting the ball in play. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's stealing bases, like you said, leader in bases. I mean, and the guy's playing with a smile. That's fun to watch. Yeah. He's a fun guy to watch.
I mean, that's even how he was in his little hit today. Little blooper just right off the pitcher's glove. And the one thing I really like about Julio that eventually, based on what we've seen currently in the first 2 months, he's going to be that superstar all-star player for Seattle. The guy runs hard every single time going to first. Yes. And I mean, that was the difference in his hit today was he actually sprinted to first and, got on. Then you just see him cracking up because he knows it shouldn't have been a hit, but it worked out for him. So, definitely really nice to see from him. And like you said, in April, that's all he saw was breaking pitches. So it gave him the time to really work on that. Spring training, you're not going to see the same type of pitch.
Nope.
So like you said, professional off-speed pitches. Take time to learn that. And then the umpires seem to get a little bit better of recent.
Well, if you notice, after Service sent the letter.
Yeah.
Strike
zone's a little bit better. Speaking of home runs and pop from Julio, Dylan Moore hit a home run. So the Mariners are up 3-0 currently on the top of the second.
Heck yeah.
So
Sweet.
Definitely good to see from them. And then let's kind of talk about the other young guy who is starting tonight, George Kirby. Currently at a 0, no wins, no losses, but has thrown a .9 ERA in his first two games. I think the big thing that I'm curious of is do we see him becoming a little bit like Matt Brash, where it starts off really hot in his, first couple starts, due to, major league teams not really having a real scouting report on him. And by the time we get to, start, I guess this is 3, so maybe 5 and 6, they start picking up on him. Do we think Kirby is here for the long haul, or is he going to be a little bit of a Brash, maybe move to the reliever role in the next few months?
Well, I'll just say I like George Kirby. I think he has the right philosophy on his 4 pitches. He wants to be pretty much almost like either between 30 and 20% on each of his pitches. He wants to bring that fastball rate down from 60 more down to a 45 level. So with the 4 pitches that he can throw for strikes, as long as he keeps that rhythm going and he's really doing some studying of those of the batters, so he knows what to pitch, so he knows what the game plan is. He also is somebody who can actually change the philosophy or the game plan, and that's what he's been working on. Is hey, if this doesn't seem to work, let's change it. And he's been working with the catchers on that. That's why I'm hopeful that Tom Murphy gets back sooner than later, because that can only blossom that kind of exchange. I don't think you're going to see Kirby drop. I think I think he's here. I think he's a fixture on the rotation. I think he got a little bit of an advantage by starting out in the minors, getting that time to just really work on things instead of trying to work on it or trying to be perfect in the major leagues. So I think Brash had that as kind of like, oh gosh, we're starting to win. I have to pitch.
Yeah.
And I can't work on anything. If it's not working, I got to go to something. And you saw he would all of a sudden drop into just doing fastballs because something wasn't working
comfortable. Right. Yep, exactly.
And so he kind of got lit up on that. And so that's why I think Kirby will be around. I think he has a different makeup, and I do think starting out in the minors this year helped him in that respect. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. No, and to piggyback on that, I mean, just stuff I've read on him. I've never really watched him a whole lot in the minors, to be honest with you guys. But I mean, just stuff I've read and kind of what I'm seeing. It seems like he just has better stuff, better control of the game compared to Brash. I mean, comparing players to players, right? But like I think you nailed it on the head saying that he started off in AAA, just helped them out a lot. And I wouldn't be surprised if the next start, not to be a Debbie Downer, next start, a couple starts are going to get to him. It happens to all rookies.
Oh, absolutely.
They're going to get to him. He's going to go through a slump. But I think if he just has the support, which I think he does, and if he does get Murphy, I think the sky's the limit for this kid. I think he could really be. I think he's going to be there for a long term, for sure.
And he was a 4-year college player, right?
Correct.
So I think that's something else that we have to remember is some of these guys who actually stay in college all 4 years have already kind of done that minor league, depending on the school that they've gone to.
Yeah,
so some of the better schools
that's the kicker.
are the better ones. Now he's from one of those.
Yeah, he is.
That's a pitching school. So, in that sense, I think he's in a good spot. So yeah. So I like and you notice that that's how the Mariners actually drafted was college pitchers because they feel that they're closer to the bigs if they've gone all 4 years instead of getting a high school pitcher that you're going to have to spend at least 6 years on. To get to the same place. So
I think that's kind of an interesting thing too. It's like, we've talked big about Brash, obviously, because he was the one that started 5 this year. Kirby, is here now, and then just waiting Emerson Hancock, who kind of that same thing, played a few years in college, and he'll eventually get his shot as well. It's not like we have to worry about pitching depth as a Ty France at a RBI double. Adam Frazier score. We're up 4-0 now.
Hitting machine.
So feeling good overall about the Mariners. We're off to a 3-3 road streak right now. 3-3. Take the series against New York, and then they can at least get that last game against Toronto against Kevin Gausman, which big win for them. Just
to kind of piggyback on that, Marco Gonzalez yesterday pitched a heck of a game.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is his second one. The first one was against Scherzer against the Mets.
Yep.
Another back-to-back against
an ace,
Gausman. 2
aces. Yep.
He says he isn't doing anything different. I beg to differ. I think listening to Coach, Service talk, he kind of smiles, but he isn't saying that there was a change. But definitely, it's pitch selection that they're changing with him. He's going to throw that 2-seamer to right-handers more often,
as he should,
because it cuts across the plate differently. And so I think they're going to expand that strike zone for him, because if you notice, he got a call last night that was not a strike, but he got it. It was like 4 inches outside in the game. Yeah, that's a good one. So it was awesome. But I think, like last year, Marco had that game in August where all of a sudden he was battling, had that breakout game in August, and then he was lights out for the rest of the year. So if his breakout game this year was the Mets, hey, just be breakout for the rest of this year. We're in great shape. So I think that's the difference now. As we got past the April, we had a little rocky May. I think we're just starting to get going, because if we can get Lewis in the lineup on Monday and, we get Kirby going, I think we're going to be all right. I think we're out of it in this, because we got the bullpen, not a problem there. Although Diego Castillo still, he's kind of at least he's not Bobby Ayala, So there's a name for you.
That's a name and a half.
Because with Bobby Ayala, you just went, oh, it's a loss. So
there's a few guys like that back just not that long ago.
But I really think Marco has stepped up. I think we are seeing the Marco of the pitcher, and that was something that I think was on the postgame show. I think it was Dave Valley said he's a pitcher. He wasn't a thrower yesterday. He's now become a pitcher, which means he has to think pitches. So
fair enough.
Kudos to Marcos.
Yeah.
And then of course, and we got to point out, it's funny, but every time I see Abraham Toro, I think of Marco.
Shoot.
And so you see him, and you see the hair. It was a little up after he took his cap off. I'm like, dude. But hey, he got a home run yesterday
to call me
too.
That, man. Yeah.
Just like you said, every time he gets up, he seems to do something else. So
yeah, he'll get his back going, man. I'm excited to see that guy play. I like him as kind of where he's everywhere right now.
Yeah.
Slow start, but he'll get it. He'll hit some clutch home runs.
He's clutch. If you need the hit,
He'll do
Somehow
it.
he comes up.
Yeah.
Somehow he comes up with it.
As
like he
JROD
doesn't
is
know
now
better.
2 for 2.
Oh, well, there we go.
But since Zoom is a little bit tricky with the third person in the call, we do need to transition a little bit here. So moving on to the Seattle Seahawks, one more question for the both of you. In 2005, which Seattle Seahawk won the MVP as well as Offensive Player of the Year?
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah, Sean Alexander, right?
Correct. Very good.
I thought so.
Who ended up on EA Madden the next year, and what happened?
Yeah, the curse.
Downhill.
The curse.
So definitely easy ones today. But just mix it up. Sometimes we have the hard ones, sometimes we have easy ones. But the first one I want to talk about is we have a new defensive coordinator and also moving to a 3-4 style defense. Going huge D linemen with just fast linebackers. The issue though is we traded for a guy in 2020 who was an all-pro, traded 2 first-round picks for him. And, just hasn't done much and signed the largest safety contract just a year ago in Jamal Adams. Most NFL reporters, analysts say that deal was very bad for us. But going into that new coordinator, what do we think? Does Jamal pick it up? Do they actually use him correctly? What are we expecting from Jamal Adams in, I guess, year number 3 in Seattle?
Well, I will just say that we now have a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, a real one.
A real one.
Yeah.
The 3-4 defense should have been put in 2-3 years ago. Carroll would have done it. I think he would have done it. But Ken Norton doesn't know how to do that. He didn't do it in Oakland. He didn't do it with us. He is not a defensive coordinator. He is a linebackers coach only. So we now have a defensive coordinator. Plus, we got Desai and who's the other one?
Boy,
I can't remember. Yeah,
Boy Mafe.
Yeah, no, but as far as coaches,
yeah,
Sean Desai and I forgot, but they are already talking to Jamal to get him back to what he did with the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
So they are going to use him that way. So he's going to be off the edge. You're going to see him blitzing more because we're going to be in a 3-4. We're going to be able to hide him a little bit better too, as far as what he does either in the box and because he didn't get to do that last year, he had to actually play a little more safety and more quarters. He gained experience there. So not only has he gotten better there, but let's get him back to what he does naturally. And I think you're going to see him pre-injury 2019 and Jets days where he's going to cause havoc. I think he's going to be kind of that roamer, if you will. I don't think he will just stick in the spot because you got Quandre Diggs playing, center field,
safety,
and let him just go wild because we got fast linebackers that can also cover a tight end or whatever. So I think you're going to see a totally different defense that's going to be an active defense. I don't think we're just going to sit there, make an audible and move over some guys and just sit there and wait. I think we're going to force the hand of the other team. We're going to be flying guys at guys. And that's obvious. Big linemen and then fast on the outside. So yeah, I like it. I'm thrilled that we got a defensive coordinator now and not a unit coach taking over a big one. That's my opinion.
Oh, and that being said, I mean, that 3-4 defense, that gets me excited because, like you said, he can throw Jamal in the box, do what he does best. And then we still have Ryan Neal, who is a great safety. That is a great safety. You pair him with Quandre Diggs. You got the back of the end covered. I'm having high hopes for our cornerbacks, so they're going to have help there. I mean, even if you had to in a pinch, I think Jamal can still play some safety. Like I said, he gained a lot of experience. So I think he's fine. I think the people saying it was a bad trade, I think they're cutting it too soon because who knows how those Jets picks are going to do,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's the Jets. I'm not worried about the Jets. When's the last time they've been relevant?
Yeah.
Just saying how I see it, calling it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do like the 3-4. I really do. I think that's what we should have gone to, like I said, years ago, and why we were stuck in a 4-3. Because over half the teams are in a 3-4 defense.
Mm-hmm.
It works. It's for these wide, it's for the wide passing game. That's what
it's for the air raid offense. And especially in the division that we're in now, well, we've been in forever at this point, but with Arizona, with LA, and even San Fran a little bit, it's going to depend who quarterbacks them as the, Garoppolo's more under center type guy than a air raid. But yeah, definitely getting that 3-4 where you do have the fast linebackers being able to cover, the tight ends like Zach Ertz with the Cardinals. I have no problem with Jordan Brooks lining up on him. And especially with Adam's size, like he's kind of small for a strong safety if we're being realistic, like 5'9", maybe 5'10". I'd much rather have him, play in the box where you do have those slot guys coming across the middle, be able to match up a little bit better. And definitely hoping to see him go back to being more of that Jets player that we saw where it was exciting when, you get that ESPN alert saying Seahawks trade for Jamal Adams. It was kind of like, I remember even when the alert came over that Jadeveon Clowney was traded to Seattle. So it was kind of one of those moments where Clowney obviously didn't work out, but it's just one of those super game changing players that, you hope you get him back to where he was. And I really think it's going to happen in the 3-4. Like you said, he's going to be back to being fully healthy. Quandre will come back and be what he does. I have very high hopes for Kobe Bryant on the outside. So, like Marco was saying there, you feel at least decent about the DBs and being able to cover, these, which we need to cover these very fast receivers. And of course,
we still got Sidney Jones too. So
there's definitely guys there.
We got guys there.
So it'll definitely be interesting. Speaking of contracts though, we got another guy very young, very productive in his first couple years. There's now the current projected contract salary for DK Metcalf, and we're going to compare this to AJ Brown and kind of break it down as to why most people think DK is going to get a little bit less. So currently AJ Brown did sign with the Philadelphia Eagles for 4 years, $100 million guaranteed, or not guaranteed, but 39. Let's just round it up to 40 million guaranteed. Let me read this again. 57 million guaranteed, 100 million total. Now the projection is DK Metcalf at 4 years, 96 million, and 42.75 guaranteed at signing. So first, let's just talk about initial reaction. How do you feel about DK on that kind of deal?
I would do it. 4 years is where it should be. I don't think DK wants anything longer than 4. And the reason why is he would still be eligible for that next big contract. He would still be at that age, that about 28, right?
Put him at 29, yeah.
29. So he would still be able to get another big contract, depending on what he does over the 4 years. So I think that would be about right. Plus, you don't hamstring the team that long either. So if things don't work out, you're not totally lambasted with it. But yeah, I'm thinking either a 3 to 4 year deal. Definitely has got to be in the 25. I mean, if you look at AJ Brown's stats compared to DK's better.
Yeah, he's better in every stat category.
So
games played, yards, and touchdowns.
Yeah. And I think we even alluded to this. Hey, so you don't get, you pay DK now because you aren't paying a quarterback that money.
Mm-hmm.
So then in 4 years, when you have your quarterback, if it doesn't work out with DK, he can go and you can pay your quarterback now since he's going to be out of his rookie contract. So, or you keep them both, whatever happens at the end. So I think it's a good place. He's going to get the money because the other guys worse than him are getting the money. So if we don't give it to him, he's a walker. I guarantee it. So we'll give him the money. But I like the AJ Brown. I do.
Yeah, I think they should totally pay him. I think that 4 year mark is good though. Like you said, not hamstring us for too long, but definitely keep him around. I mean, he's only going to get better. He's super young right now, still learning. Hopefully this new quarterback. I mean, if we go with Locker, Gino, they're going to just give him the ball, super easy pass, and just let him go make plays. So, and even if when we do and eventually get that new quarterback rookie or wherever we go, I mean, he's still a playmaker, still hustles. But I think if we pay him now, keep him happy. Seen a lot of, I'm sure you guys saw it too. He was like on the trading block, or we didn't put him on the trading block, but a lot of people kept saying, we're going to trade him, we're going to trade him. But everything that he posted on social media, seems like he wants to stay with Seattle, at least for the near future, at least. So,
treat him well, pay him, and hey, we want to be a running offense, right? Who do you want on the edge setting a block than DK? He's going to blow up guys. Holy cow! So pay the man. He's also like a linebacker practically. So I mean, you set the edge with DK. You got Cross out there. Boom! Just let him go. Walker's going to be going 80 yards every time. Boom. See ya. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, especially because it is projected being less than AJ Brown, who definitely had the leverage because he was going to Philly.
Right.
So he could kind of do that. Whereas DK will probably get a little less just because if he doesn't want it, we trade him. We get a ton of draft capital.
Oh yeah.
And I've stayed on that train even from our first couple episodes here.
Yes,
I said sign DK to 4 years, get him in that 29 year. If it fails, he goes away. And, but even still, do we really think Tyler Lockett will be here in another 4 years? So, maybe if DK continues to be DK in the next 4 years, maybe we just take Tyler's money, give it to DK. Tyler retires off to the sunset, and then we still have that money to pay our quarterback, whoever that may be, possibly CJ, possibly Bryce. So we'll definitely see how that ends up. But obviously quarterback is a big thing right now, and Pete Carroll, John Schneider have both said Baker is not coming here. Do not want to trade for him. 18 million we would have to pay for Baker. None of it makes sense. However, Bleacher Report is still big that a potential spot for Baker is Seattle. The potential trade currently that they have projected for Baker Mayfield is a 2023 third and a 2024 third. Given the quarterback room right now of Drew Lock, Geno Smith, and Washington native Jacob Eason, I'll just say I don't want to see Baker, but do either of you want to see Baker in Seattle?
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. I'm going to say it right now. I'm seeing Kevin shake his head. I heard you say, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't want to trade for him, though. I don't want to trade with him.
No, I don't
we don't
want to
need
trade.
to eat that. But if he gets released,
capital. Yeah.
No, but if he gets released and we can get him on cheap, heck yeah, bring him on in. I mean, I'm thinking that's where it's going to go. I don't think anybody's going to trade for him. I don't think anybody's going to eat that money. I don't care how desperate the teams are. And there's some pretty desperate teams still out there. But, man, if he's released and he said that he wouldn't mind coming to Seattle, I bet you we can get him on a nice veterans contract.
Prove it.
Come out and play, exactly.
Prove it.
I think the real telling thing with the whole Baker situation is, Houston has Davis Mills, but even they're like, you can keep him. We'll give you Deshaun and you can pay whatever you want for him. But you can keep Baker too. We don't want him.
Right.
Which sucks for Baker because I think if he didn't get, his whole body into a cast, he probably would have led Cleveland back to the playoffs, if in my opinion, because, he just did it the year before. And, it's hard when you can't really use your other shoulder to throw. Lots of bad things happen for him. But yeah.
Well, and the bad thing is he got on Cleveland.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and the whole NFL is against Cleveland. So do you think anybody's going to deal with Cleveland?
Well, no, I mean, that's you just broke all the NFL contract rules by signing Deshaun to a 240 fully guaranteed contract. And that just put pressure on every other owner in the NFL. And, and then Denzel Ward also getting a huge contract, a lot of guaranteed money. Yet no one's going to just, give you what they want, like 2 first-round picks for Baker originally. And now it's lowering a little bit, as time moves on. But yeah, no team's going to want to help Baker as we just got the 10-minute warning on Zoom. So we're going to wrap this part up and move on to the win total as the projection is out on Sportsbook Wire from USA Today. We talked on our schedule release. We thought 6 wins was probably going to be a good total. The current over under now is 5.5. If you are allowed to bet in your state, do you bet the over or under? At 5.5.
I'm going over.
I'd do the
I'm
over.
going over. Yeah.
I would do the over too. 5.5, doing the over. I'm definitely good on 6. I actually can see 7 wins. If everything falls right. But yeah, definitely over 5.5. I take the over. I may have to go across the river into Indiana.
Yeah. You might make some good money if you do. I mean, that's the thing. Like if, as we kind of went through our, the schedule release and we went through our episode, like 6 wins was like, I feel pretty confident with 6.
I do too.
Whether that's Drew Lock or Geno Smith, or I'd love to see Jacob Eason out there too. 6 wins, like, okay, we'll run the ball, run some play action. 6 felt very reasonable for me. So the fact it's at 5.5, at least on, this sports book, I'd make that bet in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
And this would be the time where I bet and that we would lose or we'd win 5 games.
No, I don't know. I could see. I'm looking at the schedule right now. I still could see. I mean, I could realistically see. I mean, 6 for sure. But you always have a couple of fluky, wins. Right. Let's be honest. And somebody, some quarterback, unfortunately, always gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
or
we have
some
quarterbacks.
Superstar does.
Some superstar gets hurt. So I could potentially see, 8 wins. I could that 5.5. That's an easy bet, like you guys are saying. Easy bet.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, totally.
Well, with that said, like I did say, we are getting our time limit thanks to Zoom being, how they are. They want their money, and I don't blame them. So with that said, does anybody have any closing remarks for this episode before we wrap everything up?
Mariners sweep the Red Sox. Calling it right now. We're going for the sweep. Calling it. Hot take. We're turning the season around. Hot take. We're gonna sweep them.
All right.
Okay. I like it. I'll go with 3-1. I'll give Boston a win, but at least we come home with the winning road trip that way. So
I'll take it.
Yeah.
All right. With that said,
hey, what do you think?
2-2. With that final remark, thank you everybody for watching another episode of Anchors Away. We are on YouTube, and I'll get back to posting back on the audio versions as well, so that'll be coming back here real soon. Thank you all for watching. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We will see you on the next episode of Anchors Away.